Thank you for staying with us. Governor Andrew Cuomo has recently approved a new law making New York one of the first states in the nation to ban discrimination based on hair. Here to discuss the Hair Discrimination Act is Tremaine Wright, Assemblymember of District 56, and Jamaal Bailey, Senator of District 36. Assemblymember Wright worked to pass this legislation, and Senator Bailey is the senator sponsor. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
This is wonderful. I mean, when I read this, because I got the email last week, I said, you know what? First of all, I'm going to do this hairstyle for the statement because this humidity was killing my hair, okay? You know, they always make fun of me and they say, you always come in with different hair. And I'm like, you know what? Because I need to do what works. But it's always a question when we want to put our hair in twists and braids. It's like, you know, how am I going to be looked at? But thank God BronzeNet is great with that. I've never had that problem, but it has been a problem with women in corporate, with women in media. So I just want to congratulate you both, first of all, on getting this law passed. And I just want to get into it and just talk about what the law means now for men and women going forward with natural hair.
We want to take them.
Awesome.
Well, I would say we've expanded the definition of race. So essentially, we've always had racial protections, not always, but we have racial protections in both our human rights law and our education law. Through this bill, we expanded the definition to capture natural hairstyles and hairstyles commonly associated with your ethnic traits. So thereby, we're capturing braids, knots, puffs, and things that, dreadlocks. All of the hairstyles that are commonly associated with Black people and that are oftentimes outside the scope of some of our narrowly prescribed dress and or work attire rules and regulations.
Now, you've been on the forefront for this for many years. You've worn your hair natural for almost 17 years, right?
Yeah, a little more than 17.
Yeah, so this has been, tell us how this has been an issue for you and
Well,
how you have battled it.
Similar to most women, when I graduated from school, I had to determine how I was going to present myself in the corporate world. I'm a lawyer by training. I was going to a law firm, and I was twisting one week, and by the end of the week, the twist looked different. You wear it out, the humidity affects it. One week I'm
Especially when we have
pressing,
100-degree
I've tried
weather.
braids,
Yeah.
but as you said, the changes
Yeah.
affected how I was perceived in my office, and also I would say it definitely affected the access that I had to work. And I finally determined that I was going to just create an image for myself that was this look, and that's what it has been over the last 17 years.
And it's been working for you.
Well, thank you very much.
So, Senator Bailey, why did you decide to get involved? Why was this issue important for you?
Well, Assemblymember Wright brought it to me, and it was a no-brainer. Certain things in our legislative careers, they have controversy. This was something that just made sense as the son and grandson of Black women and the father of Black daughters. My daughters are my inspiration for many things. And thinking about them and how they like to wear their hair out, when they wear their hair out, my wife puts it out, and they call it their curlies, right? and I would be saddened beyond belief if somebody decided one day that Giada and Karina, my daughter's names, that they could not work or they could be discriminated against in school or in a workplace simply because of the hair, the style that they choose to wear, having no bearing on their abilities, having no bearing on who they are as people. So people look at us as people of color. They look at us as Black people, specifically Black women, and they decide that this is a value judgment that I'm going to make upon you the second I see you. I haven't spoken to you, I don't know you, but because you have your hair in a certain way, I'm going to think this about you, and that's unacceptable. And I'm glad Tremaine brought this to me, and I'm really excited that we have this in New York State now.
I really am too, but do you think that it's actually going to take effect right away? I mean, and you know what's crazy is that the natural hair phenom has been going on for quite some time now. You know, I feel like, you know, some jobs are becoming more accepting of it, but like you said, some women are still going through it. I was surprised to see a statistic that said that 80% of women are still changing their hair, still putting chemicals in their hair just so that they fit in. So do you think now that this law has been passed that we're actually going to start to see a change?
It'll be a slow change. We are not going to see a change overnight. This law gives people who are harmed a right of action. It's not going to change the behavior of your boss, but it will force them to remove any of the workplace policies. For example, a number of our delivery drivers are restricted from, and they're not allowed to have dreadlocks because they claim that the hats don't fit over the dreadlocks. We've seen some MTA conversations recently because people who have to wrap their heads were asked to actually affix an MTA symbol to their turbans. So I think what we're going to see are for those in those spaces where they actually prescribe what we have to wear to work every day, we're going to see immediate changes. But in the spaces where it's a little softer, it's left to a lot more discretion, what we're going to see is the opportunity for people to actually voice and bring in action against employers who have had an ongoing history of discriminating against and denying opportunity to people who wore their hair in natural hairstyles.
Well, we have to begin somewhere, and hopefully we'll be able to all wear our crowns
Yes.
the way we want it. Thank you so much for being here today.
Pleasure.
Really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Absolutely.
We've come to the end of our show today. I'd like to thank all our guests for joining us and you, the viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the recablecast at 5 and 10 p.m. on Optimum Channel 67, Verizon Fios 33, or watch anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. That wraps it up for us here today in the set of Open. I'm Veronica Guity. Make sure to keep this channel wide open, and remember, you should always let your light shine. Take care.